I call this meeting of the Town of Pinetop-Lakeside Council to order. Please silence your cell phones. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Curtis Patterson will offer the invocation.
Our Father in heaven, we come before the beginning of this town council for the Pinetop-Lakeside community with humble hearts and grateful hearts for the many blessings that have been poured out upon this community. We're so thankful for the moisture that has been brought to us in great amounts and for the wonderful people who make up our town and those who serve so diligently and faithfully. We're grateful to have these wonderful young men and young women here this evening to be a part of this. We pray that choicest blessings might be upon them as they go forward in their lives, that they might be able to find joy and be able to find the happiness that comes from participating and making a difference in the communities wherever they may live in the future. We ask you to bless this meeting and all those who participate, that they might do so with dignity, that they might do so with kindness and love. We ask you a special blessing upon all those who live here that are struggling with their health, that they may be comforted, that they might be able to return to their health and be able to share and enjoy their families at this wonderful holiday season. We pray that you'll please bless all the town council members and all those who will be participating, that they will be able to know the things that would be best for our community and do so in a proper way. We're grateful for this wonderful town, for all that thou hast bestowed upon us. And we acknowledge thy hand in all that we do and do so humbly. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Good evening. My name is Parker Rigg. I am the chairman for the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee. I am also a senior in high school, and I've been on MIAC for the last 3 years. And I also participate in soccer and track.
Hello, I'm Morgan Eddy. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I have been on MIAC for 2 years. I play soccer, and I love to sing.
Hi, I'm Grace Smithson. I'm a sophomore. I've been on MIAC for 2 years, and I love to dance and do ballet.
Hi, I'm Sienna Grzellik, and I'm a junior at Blue Ridge High School, and this is my first year on the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee, and I like to play soccer in my free time.
Hi, I'm River Rigg. I am a sophomore in high school, and this is my second year on the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee, and I enjoy doing soccer and other sports.
My name is Rain DiMaliwan. I am a freshman at Blue Ridge High School. This is my first year on the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee, and I like to read.
My name is Jesse Stroop. I'm a freshman in high school. This is my first year on the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee, and I like to do a lot of art stuff.
Hi, my name is Joe Grzellik. I am a junior in high school. This is my first year in the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee, and I'm also a soccer player in my free time.
My name is Brooke Horn. I am a junior at Blue Ridge. This is my first year on MIAC, and I serve as the secretary, and I am heavily involved in the performing arts at Blue Ridge.
Item B, call to public. This is a business meeting of the town council. The town values and welcomes public input. Please address the council as a whole and not individual council members. Do not address staff or members of the audience. Council actions on items brought up in call to the public is limited by the opening meeting law. The council may direct staff to study the matter and reschedule for further consideration at a later date. Items on the agenda will not be heard or discussed in call to the public. Individuals are limited to 3 minutes. Committee member Grace Misson would like to speak tonight.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Grace Smithson, and I'm the treasurer on MIAC, also known as the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee. So we are a group of youth that work with the town council to serve our community and connect our families together. And to do this, our members brainstorm, we then create, and then we conduct projects. So this year, one of our projects has been to collect donations for sirens and sleigh bells, which is an event that provides gifts for children that may not have any this Christmas season. We are currently collecting brand new items like toys, clothes, or hygiene products to give to children that are 12 and under. And if anyone would like to make a donation, we have set boxes in the Town Hall, Blue Ridge District Office, and the Pinetop-Lakeside Public Library. If there are any questions, we have flyers on the back table with information about this event. And we are really grateful for any donations that people are willing to give. And we thank you all for the support you have given to our community.
Thank you, Grace. I have no other requests to speak and call to the public, so we will move on to item C. Item C, consent agenda. All items listed in the consent agenda are considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion of the council. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of town council requests that an item or items be removed for discussion. Council members may ask questions without removal of the items from the consent agenda. Items removed from the consent agenda are considered in their normal sequence as listed on the agenda. Unless called out of sequence, there are 4 items on the consent agenda. I would like to invite the new owners of Pinetop Olive Oil, Terry and Kim Young, to introduce themselves.
Well, hello, good evening. My name's Terry Young, and as you can see, Kim's not with me. She sends her apologies. She got stuck on some business at the store and couldn't be here, but really wished that she could be to just introduce ourselves and share a little bit about our store, if we could take just a few minutes for that. But first thing I want to do is thank the mayor, the council, and the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee for giving us an opportunity to just say hello and talk about ourselves for just a minute. We are relatively new to the Pinetop area, but we are natives of Arizona, born and raised in the valley, and spent a lot of time vacationing here, and knew that when the opportunity presented itself, this is where we wanted to retire. Recently bought a cabin up here, and just for me, it took no time at all before on Sundays I didn't want to go back to the valley. Just fell in love with the place and knew this is where we wanted to be. So we've had, both of us, long careers in public service, public safety, and we're fortunate enough to be able to retire a little early and move up here even earlier than we had planned. No idea that we were going to be business owners, but we did know when we came here that we didn't want to just live here. We wanted to do some things to be part of the community. And my wife and I, even though public safety's kind of been our background, really love to cook, love to entertain, love to just have good food, good friends, and that's kind of been our background. And had an opportunity when one of the local stores, the owners wanted to retire. And God love them, the timing was perfect. And it just seemed like a great opportunity for us to continue to serve public, but maybe in a different way now than what we had done in the past. And it has just been a couple months now. It has been phenomenal. For those of you that don't know, we're the Pinetop Olive Oil store. We're over by Charlie Clark's. Can't thank the community enough for how gracious they've been at welcoming us as new business owners into the area. It's just been amazing. We've made just incredible friends already. We expect that to continue in the years ahead. Again, thank you for being so welcoming to my wife and I in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Is there any other further discussion regarding the consent agenda? I would entertain a motion.
For Councillor Krigbaum, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second the motion for Councillor Snitzer.
It has been moved and second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. That carries unanimously. Item D is business before the council. Public comment will be taken at the beginning of each agenda item, after the subject has been announced by the mayor and explained by staff. Any citizen who wishes may speak one time for 5 minutes on each agenda item before or after council discussion. Questions after council members, however, may be directed to staff or a member of the council through the mayor at any time. Our first item is item D1, presentation and guidelines for the facade grant. Director Lloyd will present.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and members of the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee. Tonight I have something interesting to present. This was born out of our conversations we had during the budget session earlier this year. This is for a facade grant to help local businesses improve the appearance of their structure or landscaping. Recently, we had a community engagement survey that was pretty involved and pretty detailed, but some of the key takeaways that I got from it at least was that 63.89% of the community felt that there was a poor or very bad business retention and development in Pinetop-Lakeside. And 23% rated the visual attractiveness as poor or very bad. And then I also read through very many comments, and I found 50 comments that related to this. So I think that the council will be pleased that we're addressing this, and we already had thought about it before the comments came forward even. But it shows that this is a need in the community. Anyway, so let's get started on the little presentation that Mackenzie helped me put together. Thank you, Mackenzie. So yeah, there's other communities that do this. I don't think there is a community locally that does this. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen it done locally. So I think that in order to improve the appearance of areas, especially when you come into town, what do you see? You see Lakeside, you see businesses that look abandoned and neglected. And what we're hoping to achieve here is that these business owners say, wow, what an opportunity for us to improve our appearance of our store and the town and take some pride of ownership. So what we're offering here is a way to enhance businesses within the town of Pinetop-Lakeside. Go ahead, Christy. The program provides 50-50 grant match. What does that mean? Well, we have $50,000 budgeted for this program. So what does that look like? That looks like 20 businesses could come forward and apply for this funding. And that's a lot of businesses. It's not enough for everybody, obviously, but we hopefully have a good response and are able to continue this program for a while. So we have that translates to in a dollar amount, $2,500. We would match, so they would pay $2,500, and we would match the $2,500 after they make the improvements. Good. So who's eligible to apply? Any businesses in the town of Pinetop-Lakeside. And the improvements must enhance or restore the physical appearance of the building's exterior. It could also, as I mentioned, there'll be landscaping as well. And obviously they have to follow the town building codes. And so, go ahead. And then when they actually are finished, then they would be able to submit their receipts, and then we'd reimburse them up to the 50% or $2,500 max. And so here are some before and after examples that we found from other communities. And I really think that this is a great opportunity for us to improve Pinetop-Lakeside, address some of the comments that came in the community engagement survey, and show that Pinetop-Lakeside supports our businesses locally. Any questions? From the public?
You mentioned landscaping. Did it include it?
Does include landscaping. Yes, sir. Yes, and so we're looking at rolling this out in December, the beginning of December. So we plan on having the application. It's already complete and everything. It's there available. We'll have it online by December 1st for businesses in town limits. Yes.
What about for any building that has contiguous businesses? Do they all have to buy in, or can an individual participate?
Right. So individual, if you look at in the application, you'll see that both tenants and owners can apply for separate grants. So say an owner wants to do some general landscaping, and then a certain specific business in that shopping center wants to do facade improvements, then that could occur.
I
Oh, yeah, please, if you have any other questions, please come forward so we can capture it in the minutes. No other questions? All right, well, hopefully you guys, everybody here at the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee and the council, members of the public will get the word out that this is available, and so that we can spend that $50,000 and make Pinetop-Lakeside beautiful again.
Thank you, Director Lord. Item D2 is presentation for the proposed 6-year pavement preservation plan for Pinetop-Lakeside roads. Director Patterson will present.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and MIAC. I look forward to working with you all here tonight. Currently, what I have before you is what we used to call the 5-year plan. We've made some adjustments to it to make it a 6-year plan, to make it more fiscally feasible for the town. So the exhibits in your packet show you the different maps and the adjustments that we've made to make this a 6-year plan instead of 5-year, and then realign the costs so that it works better for the 6-year versus the 5-year plan. And this specifically means for when we slurry seal or we chip seal a segment of roads, we would stick to those sections of road for that year is what this really entails. I don't have a whole lot to talk about on this one, so just wanted to bring it to the council so that they're all aware of what we're intending to do over the next 6 years. Do we have any questions?
So this is going to be a continuous 6-year cycle, right?
Yeah.
And every road will get treated every 6th year.
Yeah. Yes, Mayor.
Can I ask a question? I know that there's a street called Springtime that is one of the few that is still gravel. Is that still going to be gravel? I didn't see that it was part of the plan. It's like year 4, I think, something like that, when you do that area. So it will still not be paved. Is that correct?
That's correct. Springtime is what you said? Mm-hmm. And it's on our list?
It's not on your list because you're not going to do anything to it.
Right. So this has to do with just asphalt only.
Right.
So I just wanted to make sure I didn't have an...
Well, and I wanted to make sure that it was still going to be just cinders, gravel, whatever it is, but it's not paved.
Yeah, this 6-year pavement preservation plan specifically only for paved roads and on our Category 1 maintenance schedule, which means that they get a higher level of maintenance, and this pertains to only them.
Thank you.
We don't need a motion on this one, so we can move right on to D3, right?
Yep. Thank you, Director Patterson. Item D3, consider resolution number 22-1642, authorizing the purchase of transportable bleachers for Mountain Meadows Recreation Complex, soccer multipurpose fields through OMNIA Partners Contract number R201101 to BSN Sports LLC. Director Patterson will present.
Good evening. I'm going to hand this one off to Melina. She's been doing all the work on everything in the park, so we're going to give her the opportunity to speak about the next 2 items.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee. I'm thankful that I can be here this year for you guys to actually run the council meeting. So we have, as everyone I'm sure in the community and council and MIAC has been aware, that we have completely reconstructed and rebuilt the Mountain Meadow soccer fields. This year we were fortunate enough to have 2 of our Blue Ridge High School boys soccer games at those fields, and so they were able to play under the lights at night. One of the issues that we have is we don't have any transportable bleachers. So we brought the bleachers from the Little League fields over to put by the soccer fields. For the Blue Ridge Solo game, even the Chino Blue Ridge game, they were not enough. So we had 4 sets of bleachers there. So in this proposal and what we brought to council, I believe it was the October 5th meeting, the first meeting in October, was just our intent to spend down our capital improvement money that we already currently have in the budget for our parks. And part of that is to purchase these 6 transportable bleachers. So they're actually towable. We won't have to use equipment other than one of our tractors or a pickup truck to just move them right over to the field, and then we can move them to other parks if necessary. So that's what these are for. So, any questions? Okay, that's all I have on this one.
Thank you, Mrs. Spillman. I would entertain a motion.
For Counselor Snitzer, I move that we approve resolution number 22-1642, authorizing the purchase of transportable bleachers for Mountain Meadows Recreation Complex soccer/multipurpose fields through Omnia Partners contract number R201101 to BSN Sports LLC in the amount of $58,716.28, and authorize the town manager to execute all documents necessary to complete this transaction.
I second the motion for Councilor Buse.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. It passes unanimously. Item D4, consider resolution number 22-1643, authorizing the purchase of concrete picnic tables for town parks from Peterson Manufacturing Co., Incorporated. Director Patterson will present.
I'm going to step in for Matt again on this one. So this one was actually, took a lot more research and getting quotes on. In your packet, I included 3 additional quotes, one of which, actually 2 of which, were on cooperative purchasing contracts. However, they ended up being more than one that was directly from the manufacturer. They're all the exact same manufacturer, same table, everything, but getting them directly from the manufacturer, they were able to get us a better price, not just on shipping, but on the tables themselves. And so we wanted to bring that to you for approval. One of the reasons that we want to go with concrete tables is it is much easier for us to pressure wash, for our staff to pressure wash and keep them clean, to remove any graffiti that might possibly get on the tables, because that does happen, unfortunately. And then another big issue that we have, and we've had for several years at Woodland Lake Park, is people moving the tables and then they actually move them and throw them in the lake. So these tables weigh like hundreds of pounds. So without a piece of equipment, you are not moving these tables. So that's one of the reasons that we wanted to go with the concrete tables. And then also lowers the maintenance cost for our staff as well.
Thank you, Mrs. Spillman. Are there any questions or comments? I would entertain a motion.
Buse. I move to approve resolution number 22-1643, authorizing the purchase of concrete picnic tables for town parks from Peterson Manufacturing Company, Inc., in an amount not to exceed $49,996, and authorize the town manager to execute all documents necessary to complete this transaction.
I second the motion for Councilor Snitzer.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. That carries unanimously. Item D5, consider resolution number 22-1644, accepting the grant agreement with Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, ADEQ, for Billy Creek Watershed Assessments and Outreach. Director Patterson will present.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and MIAC. We have an awesome partnership with this grant. So tonight I'm going to ask Sada Chardnoff to come up and explain, and we'll do her presentation with this so that she can walk us through the whole proposal. Sada and Milena have been working really hard on getting this grant in, and hands off, or round of applause for them on all the hard work that they've done on this, so appreciate it.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee. As Matt mentioned, my name is Sada Chudnoff. I'm a hydrogeologist, and I live here in Pinetop, Arizona. Christy, if we want to advance the slide. So we recently completed a grant proposal with ADEQ to evaluate the watershed, or the Billy Creek watershed. And I'm going to start with a thank you, because one comment that Julia Rowe with ADEQ made to me was one of the reasons we were offered this grant is because of all of our partnerships in the community. And there's, a number of people. We have Dave here with the sanitary district. When I asked Dave to write a letter of recommendation for the grant, he got it to me within 24 hours. That never happens. So I really, appreciate these relationships we have with the Forest Service, the White Mountain Nature Center, the sanitary district, the town of Pinetop for, giving me the go-ahead to even write this grant. And of course, Blue Ridge and 4-H. Christy, next. So this grant will cover these, I guess you guys can all read the following phases. We have a septic survey, historical data and compilation report, hydrogeological characterization, groundwater, surface water quality monitoring and spring surveys, a number of community STEM events, and of course the Blue Ridge Science Club, which is currently underway. Next. Here's an overview. I don't know if you guys know the boundaries of the Billy Creek watershed. So everything you see in pink are those boundaries for the watershed. So you can start up with Walnut Creek, Billy Creek, of course flow into Pine Lake, Woodland Lake, and then into Rainbow Lake, and the watershed terminates right before you get into Shola Lake. Next. So the first phase is a septic survey. This is important because there are still a number of parcels within the watershed that are on septic systems, and the age and condition of a lot of those systems is unknown. Historically, we can look back at the condition of Rainbow Lake, which is still listed as an impaired water for exceedance or excessive nutrients, and there's a strong correlation that ties the condition of the lakes, and particularly Rainbow Lake, to septic systems. So the purpose of this survey is to actually evaluate all of the septic systems within the watershed and to using a ranking metric to determine what areas within the watershed are at most risk of failure and impairing the water quality. And the hope here is that the sanitary district can actually use this information and this data and maybe, find some funding to help tie in areas that have already been developed out, because it's pretty cost prohibitive once a neighborhood is developed to actually go in and extend these mains and the connections, especially when you're asking somebody who has a septic system to abandon that and pay the money for a septic connection. Next. Historical data compilation is really important because the last thing we want to do is be redundant or start building a data set without looking at historically what has happened. The other importance of a historical data set is we as humans just don't have great memory. So we can sit here and say, oh, well, it's a really wet year, our aquifers are fine. Well, the reality is our snowpack is like 60% of average, whereas our precip is like 170%. So, these things really affect, how our aquifers get recharged and what is going on within our system. We also can look historically what is happening with our spring flows. Historically, are our springs still running? Do they have water? Do they not have water? So putting all that information together and sharing it helps us, going forward, make science-based decisions on historical facts. Next. This phase is the hydrogeological characterization. So of course, our surface water and groundwater are all tied in together. So we need to really understand what's going on in the subsurface. Where are our shallow aquifers? Where are our deep aquifers? How does water flow through the subsurface? Does water flow through an area with 50 septic systems that are older than 40 years and then flow into Walnut Creek, which flows into Pine Lake, and then Woodland Lake. So we need to understand that, and that's what we do with our hydrogeological characterization. And another important, another important thing about that characterization is, sometimes the rocks or the, what's underneath the ground that your water is flowing through can also contribute to your water quality. So we want to be able to parcel all of that information out. Next. So this is from the 260 old dry cleaner site, and this is an idea, or just giving you guys an example of this work we're doing. This is showing you flow contours, so this shows you actually the direction that the groundwater flows in the shallow aquifer. I think part of those contours are right, near the school, so you guys should all be familiar with that. So these are the things that we're going to be working on, so we have an understanding of what's going on in our whole system. Next. The water quality sampling is also an important component because this is where we get to sample surface water, springs, and shallow groundwater, and use, I just put up as an example, a stiff diagram and a Piper diagram, and we'll be able to use these to look at the relationship between the water and what is in communication. We're also going to sample, nitrates and phosphates. Those are things that you'll commonly find in septic systems. So we'll be able to use all of this geochemistry to kind of ID what is going on in our system as well. Next. Oh, sorry. All right. And then, of course, community STEM, because when you have a community that's engaged in a project, that's learning about a project, and that's part of it, you are more likely to see change within your community. So we're going to have Gary Hicks. He's a, professional geologist, water well contractor, and he was a distinguished lecturer for the National Groundwater Association, and he actually helped write the Well Owner's Guide, and he's going to come and do a best management practice course for septic system and private water well owners. We're going to work with the Spring Stewardship Institute on doing a class in the community on how to survey springs. We're going to work with the Arizona Water Watch on water quality sampling and wet-dry mapping, and all of this is going to be within the community. So we're going to, bring people in, working with you guys, everybody here, on collecting these samples, running the samples in the lab on the equipment that we're going to purchase with this grant, putting together stiff diagrams and Piper diagrams, and talking about, what does it mean? And we're hoping that, I hope all of you guys are hydrologists after this, but this is just very informative, and it also gives people information so they can decide on making that change and the importance of that change in our community. All right, next. I think that's it. Oh, and then, of course, we're going strong with the Science Club. I don't know how many weeks we're in, but they've been getting out and doing some water sampling and learning about some basic geochemistry. And once we're able to purchase some more of the monitoring equipment, we'll start collecting more sampling. And of course, we're planning on another Earth Day event and getting the students out here to present around Earth Day. And I believe that is it. Oh, okay. That's it. That's it.
Sweet.
That's the mystery slide.
Thank you, Director Patterson and Ms. Chudnoff. Are there any questions or comments? I would entertain a motion.
For Councilor Krigbaum, I move to approve Resolution Number 22-1644, accepting the grant agreement with Arizona Department of Environmental Quality for Billy Creek Watershed and Assessment and Outreach, and authorize the town manager to execute all documents necessary.
I second the motion for Mayor Irwin.
It has been moved and second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. That carries unanimously. I would like to turn the time over to Mayor Irwin.
Thank you, Matt. Before I turn the meeting back over to Chairman Rigg here to adjourn, I just would like to thank all the kids for being here tonight. It is really my pleasure to be able to work with these young men and women. I'm very, very proud of them. They've all got great ideas. They're very involved in the community, and our future couldn't be more secure with these young people here. I'd also like to thank their families, their grandparents, their parents, siblings, everybody involved, because it does take a village to raise such incredible, incredible people. Also, before we adjourn, I would like to thank all the presenters tonight. This was a great meeting because all the things that we talked about were for this next generation coming up, protecting our watersheds, learning more about that, the bleachers, the things at Mountain Meadows and Woodland Lake Park. Those are all for our future. So this was a great meeting. I just want to thank all of you guys. I would like to thank Milena, who works very closely with them. Christy, our town clerk, put together the script. So this was a really great learning experience for them. We hope to do it again sometime in the future. I don't know if it'll be this school year or not, or maybe next year at this time. But I would just like to give these young people a hand for their meeting tonight. Over to Parker then.
Sweet. Thank you, Mayor Wynn. This concludes our business for tonight. This meeting is adjourned.